Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope you all are fine and doing well, as we are nearly finishing training and development. I hope you have learned something. So I think we have saw the announcement from Ministry of Higher Education. We might have 4 weeks of offline classes, so we will wait for university announcement, what they are saying on what they want. In training and development, we have discussed many topics. We have started from the day one training, what we have discussed about training, development, advantages for companies, everything. We have gone through many important topics in training, need assessment, training, development, everything. And also some examples in different companies' use of technology, method of training, stages, everything. So today I want to discuss about skill development in Afghanistan, how in last 20 years how things have been changed in our country. There are a number of institutions like World Bank, like Asian Development Bank, like USAID, that they have spent millions of dollars in skills development in Afghanistan. They have different programs, different agendas that they have done with that. So we will go through some topics, some parts of these reports, what they have been doing, and what was the need for the training, how that has been happened. Then in the next session we will talk about well-known companies, what they are doing for their human resources, like what Microsoft is doing in case of training, how they provide training, what they are doing for their staff, for their employees. So we will be learning practically what they are doing for their staff and what are the importance of that. Regarding skills development in Afghanistan, we all know, we have talked a lot regarding this in last 20 years, before 20 years, because of conflict in internal war. Many families, many skilled labor have left Afghanistan, and they have migrated to different part of the globe, Pakistan, India, or whatever, Europe and USA. Unfortunately, with the coming of new government, there were very less skilled labor that were needed for Afghanistan. Especially if you remember, still we are facing certain challenges. Still you see that there are foreign nationals working in universities, working in accountancy, working in consultancy, working in training and developments. So still we are a country that are not having proper skills in different part of the organization or in different sectors. If you remember, in last 20 years, they were our lecturers were mostly from countries like Pakistan or India, doctors from these countries, accountants from these countries, even the basic receptions and computer, anyone who knows DL or computer, they were from neighbor countries, especially auditors, consultant, trainers, everything. They were not from Afghanistan. Why? Because we were facing a very big shortage in skilled labor. Still we are having a problem with this, having skilled labor, but so far in last 20 years there are some changes that happen, that develop skills, that Afghans have lifted this country, went to another part, they have learned certain skills, they have studied, and they came back to their country, and they are serving in different part of the organization or in different sector, private sector, government sector, education sectors. If you see that most of them are PhDs or masters from other part of the world, that they have done their masters from India, Pakistan, whatever country that they are doing, but still that's a very good what we call it aspect. But unfortunately there are some organizations still they are using trainers from other countries, especially accountant from other countries, lecturers, doctors, from other countries as well. And there are one report which I've what we call it, I've read from USAID from 2012 till 2018. They have spent $50 million in skill development in Afghanistan. $50 million, which is a very big amount of money. But unfortunately, we all know that there was a problems implementing these projects. Still, they were in another report. It says that they were training in poultry farms, in farming, in chicken farms, in bees, training in different sectors. Each different organization or private companies or NGOs were involved in providing training, like carpenter training, how to have bees farm, how to have a chicken farm, how to have fish farms. They were providing training, and they were spending millions of dollars for this purpose. So USAID says that they have spent it $50 million in Afghanistan development program. So let me see if I have it here. I have read it recently. Unfortunately, let me check here. Is it? Yes, I think it's this one. So you see, this is a USAID. Recently I was reading regarding skill development in Afghanistan, so I found out this program. You see here, it's 2013 mid-level worker and job seekers graduation. So they are providing Afghanistan workforce development program, which is AWDP. You see, from April 2012 till June 2018, they have spent $50 million. That's the value of this program, Afghanistan Workforce Development Program. So overview, let's see what they have discussed. So to increase job placement and wages by strengthening the labor pool in major economic areas, and addressing the difficult of high unemployment, scarcity of technically skilled Afghan labor and trained business managers. So activities, what they were doing, AWDP used a 4-step to process, determine what skilled labor is needed, how to create it. First, labor market demand assessment. So you see, economic sector assessment, determine what skill private sector needs, focus on mid-career semi-professional level. So that was their first labor market demand assessment, what the labor market wants. That's we have discussed need assessment. So their demand, what is the labor market demand, what they want to achieve. So curriculum development or adoption, curricula design or adopted with Afghan training provider to meet skill for a proven labor market demand from private sector employers. Next, competency based training, grants provided to help local organization deliver training in specific areas demanded by the businesses. Employment placement services, pre-employment training, job placement services, and follow-up services provided to trainees to help them find jobs. And other 4 pillars provide training, adult learning methodology and structure designed to private institute of higher education selected to receive support to commercialize the AWDP skill training in job placement promotion model. Instructor who successfully complete training receive salary increases. So they have also provided training for private institute of higher education. So that's another career counseling center. Career counseling is a critical demand for Afghan youths seeking employment or determining a suitable career path. So we have discussed what is career path in career development. While some private institute of higher education have recently established C3 facilities, which means career counseling center, the leadership of these institutions has indicated a high demand for career and employment related services, technical support tools and resources in order to effectively respond to labor market needs and the needs of the graduating students. Next, we have accomplishment, provided 43,873 mid-career semi-professional employment and job seekers. So that was they have accomplished in last few years. So 36% of them women with competency based technical and business management skills training session complemented by employability skill training. Next, assisted 28,790 training program participants, some 36 of them women, in finding jobs or earning promotion with salary increases. completed 123 short-term labor market-driven training projects. The projects awarded through a fixed grant mechanism implemented by private firms, private universities and NGOs. So carried out a sustainability plan to ensure the program continued beyond USAID funding. As a part of this plan, the program accomplished the following: build the capacity of 5 to operate career counseling center which train university graduates, 1758 university graduates, over 33% of them female, 807 trainees, this much female placed in jobs. Provide master training of trainers, training to 1401 master trainer of private institute of higher education in job seekers over this female in this much relevant job to promote of their current job. So that was a report from May 2019, but that's what they were doing in USAID program, that they were spending $50 million. Now there is a issue that it's a very big amount of money, $50 million. Now if we evaluate this system, if we analyze the whole results with the investment, what will be the outcome? Is it beneficial? Was it beneficial for that, or we have spent it over budget? We have spent it a lot of money and the result is not as we want. So that's what we have discussed, and that's what I found out regarding I think the World Bank has as well development objective. So this is Afghanistan sector, workforce development and vocational training, financing plans, amount, total budgeting. So it's a very big report, so there is nothing related to find out. So these are Afghanistan development skills, procurement, summary, news, media, whatever. So that's what we talked. So you see that Afghanistan, they have invested a lot of money. So that's not only that USAID has spent millions of dollars. World Bank has spent a lot of money in skill development in Afghanistan as well. Asian Development Bank as well. Some other donors have invested millions of dollars on training and development in Afghanistan as well. Afghanistan government have vocational, I think, training program or learning something, vocational educational learning program or training something. They have found that they needs to they have spent it a lot of money as well, that were supported or donored by World Bank. So that's all regarding different, but especially the changes that we are currently facing, the challenges. Mostly private sectors are very behind the latest technology or training. Like what we mean, like mostly private sectors are not providing proper training, is not spending a lot of money on their employees skills and developments. If you compare other companies, other countries, how they provide training program for their employees with our own country, there is a very big difference between them. So it's very hard for them, like especially universities. There is no training program in universities for their lecturers, for there are very few for their staff, for their employees, for their others that they participate in training programs. If they have a workshop or seminars for a student, but they don't provide them with a participation certificate, which is again another issue for universities, because if a student is studying 4 years in a university and every year he is participating, let's say, in 5 workshop or seminars or training program, and he's not having anything in his hand, tomorrow if he graduate 4 years, 5 each year, so it means 20 programs. So if he write in his CV that I have participated in 20 training seminars, workshop programs in the university, so what's the evidence? That's the main thing. Anyone can write I have participated in 100 training program, but if you don't have supporting documents, if you're not talking based on evidence, that's very hard. You know what I mean? Like that's very very hard for a lecturer. If I'm a person interview a person who is taking interview, if I ask a student, okay, have you participated in training program? Yes. Give me the certificate. No certificate. Then there is a issue. Secondly, if a student wants to apply for scholarships, especially for master or for any program, if you are having an award, if you are having a participation certificate, if you have attended seminars, if you have conducted training, if you have, you need to write everything, and there is a place where you can upload your certificate of awards, participation certificate or appreciation certificate, what you have got inside the student, inside the university, if you are doing this. So I remember one thing, like back in India, some students were very active in forming inviting new businessmen, how to talk. They were having entrepreneurship club, they were having adventure club. So mostly students were involved in the different clubs that they were dealing. But at the end of the year, they were the university have provided them with the participation, with the membership certificate, that these were the members or the organizers of entrepreneurship clubs. They were the leaders, they were the head of these clubs. So definitely when they want to apply for a scholarship and they say, yes, I was a organizer for different programs, educational program in my university, and this is my certificate. So it's based on facts. So that's the issue, that mostly employees are very demotivated here. When you go to employees, especially when I talk with some of them, they say, yes, we have suggestion, but no one hears. So what's the point of giving new suggestion? If we have anything, most of the some government organization, they are not even having weekly or monthly meeting. So I said, why you don't have meeting? They say, we don't have anything to say, and that's the daily job we are doing, that's it. So I said, you don't have any suggestions, any objections? They say, who hears our objections or suggestion? No one cares. If we have any problem, if we ask them, no one cares. So what's the point of giving suggestions and giving these things? So that's a issue. Sorry, that's the issue that the companies are facing. They are very very, like what we call it, demotivated. Their morale are very low. They are just coming, oh, it's just a job to do, that's it. Unfortunately, in most of the organizations, if you go, they're not very professionals. Like if you sit there and they're on their phone, so that's very unprofessionalism, because you are working in an organization. If your customer is coming and sitting to you for a specific task, you are taking salary, you are not allowed to answer your call on a working hours. So this needs to be, if it's not an emergency call. I tell you one thing, I went to one bank, private bank. I was sitting there, one person was trying to open an account. There was a lady, she was opening account for that person. A call came for her, she left the place, and around 30 people are waiting. They have got the tokens, they are waiting in the seats to open account and everything. She left and she went outside and start talking. So imagine, that's very unprofessionalism. How can you lift everyone? You're not allowed to talk in working hour. Why these employees are facing this issue? Because of training, because their headquarter have not provided a proper training for them, how to conduct, how to behave, your professionalism, everything. So there is no proper training. So how you do that? So that's a issue that the companies are facing. So their employees are not very professional. You are roaming around. I tell you another example. We went to an organization. It was our friend. So my another friend came from Germany. So we went there. We knocked the door. We enter. All their staff were sitting. We say Assalamu alaikum. They all just head up, like say Wa alaikum salam, and that's it. They didn't even stand up from their place and come and greet us. They just sit in their place. They say, this is our working time. When their break time came, they come to you and they say, hi, hello, how are you? They just talk with you. inside, when it's not their break time, they have their own time. Tea break, they can go and have their cigarette, everything. Then they have their lunch break, then they have their coffee break, then that's it. So they have break. You're not allowed to go before break for a cigarette, for smoking, for anything. So you need to, that's a professionalism, that's the training that the company has provided them. That's the training and development that the company has provided in last few years for their employees, how to behave with customer, how to do your job, how to smile. Even you see in the some companies, especially there is a train in Saudi Arabia, from, I think it's come from Medina to Jeddah or somewhere. Some of their employees were smiling, so one guy went, he thought that they are taking picture, so he went there and say, why you guys smiling for a picture? They say, no, we are not smiling for the picture, we are practicing how to smile for the customers. Even if you are sad, whatever, you need to smile for your customer, that they are coming to your hotel, or they are coming. I know most of you have been to foreign countries. You saw how they behave with you when you come to the airport, and their immigration desk, the way they talk with you, the way they smile to you, the way they welcome you. You forget it, whatever hours you have traveled in plane, your tiredness, everything. So why they are dealing these things? That's a professionalism, that's a training they have been provided with. So that's an issue that the most companies are facing currently in our country. If you review mostly companies, if you talk with them, if you ask them regarding the training, there is no unprofessionalism. If you are entering in an organization and you know someone, he's just leaving the office and talking with you, hi, hello, how are you, where are you these days, oh, let's have a tea in this. He's just living 1 hour, 2 hour with you and leaving his job, and a lot of people are waiting outside for him or for her. He don't care. So that's the problems that the companies are facing. That's the problem that the companies face inside the organization. So that's what we have researched today regarding skills development in Afghanistan, that companies are organizations are dealing with these issues. They have been provided different forms of training. Donors have invested millions of dollars on skill development inside Afghanistan. These skill development programs were conducted by different NGOs, organizations, private institutions, and they were provided in different part of the world, different parts of Afghanistan as well. So that's skill development in Afghanistan. That's an overview. Let's see. After the 3 decades of conflict, Afghanistan need a well-trained and flexible workforce to help rebuild the country. So I have discussed all. So the conflict has decimated Afghanistan training infrastructure, torn the fabric of human society, and relegated the country to the status of one of the least developed in the world. The country's effort to emerge from nearly total collapse is hampered by a number of factors, one of which is absence of well-educated and trained labor force able to acquire the skills and trades the country needs as it grows. A well-trained labor force will yield a higher level of productivity and be able to accommodate the changing needs of a post-conflict economy, while ensuring higher earning and greater mobility for workers. Through most of the Afghan labor force is in the informal sector, skills acquisition judicially combined with literacy and numeracy program should produce a workforce able to adopt modern production technology and take advantage of opportunities to do self-employment in a small enterprise development. So you see that this is overall introduction regarding what we have faced inside Afghanistan. So these are reports that behind, I think it's not latest report, but still some of them are eligible. The country requires training across skills spectrum for both informal and informal sector. The Afghanistan marketplace is dominated by the informal sector, characterized by low skills and ease of entry. Members of the labor force need to be equipped with an array of skills suitable to their skill set. Traditionally, these have been classified as a general or transferable skills on the one hand, and specific concrete skill on other. With a modernizing labor force, understanding and knowledge of particular manual skills become less and less important. In higher order conceptual skill become necessary. In Afghanistan, the set of required skill cover the employment spectrum from the unskilled or semi-skilled of higher order skill. Because higher order skill are grounded firmly in adequate general education, the government is simultaneously tackling both the education and the training needs of its population. So that's the programs that the government have conducted, that the government has tried to dominate this population, and they have provided with the training, which we will discuss later. Human resource development is high on the government agenda. So from last many years, government has provided the government have provided different educational training for their staff. You see that mostly they have provided training for their employees in different part of the world as well. Unfortunately, some of their participants didn't return back to Afghanistan, especially back in last 10 years. Thousands or hundreds of students have participants have left Afghanistan and went for a training program to United States or to any other part of the world. They didn't return back. So that's the issue that Afghanistan has faced. Most of them have run away. They have did asylum in other part of the world, in Europe, especially United States, Canada, in these countries. But still Afghanistan government has tried in some part, but we all know because of corruption and all this issue, there were a lot of money spent on training as well. In the Afghan compact drafted at 2006 London conference, the government of Afghanistan reaffirmed the high priority it places on human resource development. The government of Afghanistan has initiated several major efforts to rebuild its human resource with projects that improve basic and higher education. Requesting donor support for skill development, the government of Afghanistan is keen to develop the country vocational education and training VET sector. So you saw vocational education and training that in different part has, especially Afghanistan government has also provided it fees for their employees, like some ministries, like some ministries in organization like the Afghanistan Bank have provided fees for their staff to do their bachelor degree, because they do before most of them were 12 graduate, so they want their employees to be at least bachelors and masters in this. So they have provided for their skills in educational development, they have provided them with the fees or scholarship that they can go to universities and study part-time at the evening time, so they can complete 4 years bachelor degree. Most universities, as I said, mostly or ministries have provided this opportunity for their employees as well, and most of them have left, as I said, participated in different training programs in different part of the world as well. So these are vocational education and training program Afghanistan government has provided for different purpose. It was for carpenters, bees, farming, chicken farms, greenhouses, different carpentry, painting, mechanical workshops, mechanics, and different things that they have provided with these type of education and training programs in different part of Afghanistan, so they can at least have a skilled labor. We all know that the house that we are building nowadays mostly are Afghans, but most of them before they came back from, they were Afghans working in Iran, Afghans working in Pakistan. They came back, they are electrical engineers, for example, they are carpenters, they are painters, they are they all learned these things in other countries. We didn't have that skills. So if you ask most of these people where you have worked, they say 10 years in Iran, 10 years in Pakistan, in there. So that's the skills that mostly, even our human resource as well, in most of the organization you see mostly ministers that they were studied in other countries. So that's a program. So the interest in vocational education and training stem from several government beliefs, among them that the creation of jobs and development of skilled labor force are necessary inputs in sustaining the country recovery effort, that unemployment and underemployment rates are close to 25 or 30%, and that nearly 70% of the unemployed have little or no marketplace skill. Through the evidence to substantiate this belief is scant. And finally, that the growing demand for skilled labor in the country is being met largely by citizens of neighboring countries. So you see that our own skilled labor is met by largely by citizens of neighboring country. But now I think it might be, from my point of view, it's not based on fact. I think around 30% or 20% of our labor might be from 30 or 40 around might be still from neighbor countries, like doctors and all these things. It's my idea, but I'm not sure on a real basis what is the figures. So that's how you find that they are melted by neighbor countries. We all know that lecturers from Pakistan still we are having, they came from other countries. Some of them came last 10 years, they're still here. Some of them have left the country. Lecturers from India, doctors from Pakistan, doctors from India, accountants, auditors, as I said, mostly other employees, trainers from other countries as well, from our neighboring countries. The government of Afghanistan has requested World Bank assistance in vocational education and training sector. 2 decades of conflict has led to an almost total destruction of Afghanistan, of the country training infrastructure, while efforts to rebuild basic and higher education sector have received substantial donor support. So there are many things that they were involved. So yet the policymaker in the country believes several things. First, that job creation in labor market absorption are essential for long-term sustained recovery efforts in Afghanistan. Second, about 25 to 30% of Afghan labor force is unemployed or underemployed, and almost 70% of these individuals are unskilled. So it might be, it's a previous report, it might be around it. This is not the correct figure before. Now it's less than 70%. So finally, citizens of neighboring country are meeting demand for skilled labor in Afghanistan. You saw that I have saw people from Nepal, Pakistan, India, Yemen, Arab countries, neighbor Iran, other countries, that they came in Afghanistan and they were working in Afghanistan. The critical shortage of skilled personnel is attributed to the prolonged conflict that resulted in fragmented education system, which led in turn to high illiteracy level and poor access to quality education. That's according to World Bank. On the job training, so we have discussed what is on the job training. Policymaker repeatedly ask why firms investing in Afghanistan choose not to invest in building up a strong human resource base through firm level of on-the-job training. Theory would predict that individual would be willing to pay for general transferable skills, and firm would pay for a specific skill. More recently, other studies have demonstrated that firm may even be willing to pay for training in general or transferable skills. So that's what organizations are doing. So policymakers, they say that the companies needs to invest a lot on the job training program. So if a person is working for the organization, he needs to go there and he needs to find out, he needs to learn training inside the job. So that's what World Bank has been doing inside Afghanistan and for the training program. So unfortunately, as we have discussed, because of issues or conflicts, mostly our skilled labor were from neighboring countries. Currently there are different educational and training institutes that are working in order to have a skilled labor, and also I think few weeks before I saw that I forgot his name, a person, he said that we are working to have a skilled labor, not only to satisfy our demand, our local market demand, but also we send some of them to neighbor countries like United Arab Emirates. We send them skilled labor so they can we can find opportunities, employment opportunities for our skilled labor around the world, so at least we can reduce the unemployment rate. So if we are having a skilled labor, then definitely they can not only work in Afghanistan, they can work in United Arab Emirates, and they can work in Saudi Arabia, and they can work in Middle East, in other countries. So it will increase the employment rate and also standard of living, because these people will send money back to Afghanistan. So there are circulation of money that the companies are doing. So World Bank also have a program, the skill development program. Project support the government of Afghanistan in its strategy to build market relevant vocational and technical skills for economic growth and development. Building on the former Afghanistan skill development project, this program will continue to strengthen the technical vocational education and training institutional system, improve performance of technical vocational education and training school and institute, and improve teacher competencies. Under the Afghanistan second skill development program, 100 national occupational skill standard have been benchmarked to an international level with the support of an international certification agency, and corresponding curricula developed for 15 trades. So that's what World Bank is doing, skill development program. So they are having, if you click on it, you go to straight to the program what they are doing, the World Bank for Afghanistan development. So that's all what we have discussed regarding skill development in Afghanistan, where we were, why we didn't have the proper skills, why, because of conflict and all these things, what Afghanistan government is doing, what program they have arranged in order to develop the skills, what the World Bank is doing, what USAID has done, also what the World Bank has done, and many other organizations that they have provided training programs in different sectors, as I say, educational, service, private, agriculture sector, mining, and different training programs they have conducted for the employees. So why I have connected this topic with the training and development, so you can have an overview of training and development inside the Afghanistan. So now if you properly do some research regarding this, I'm very sure that you will have something. Yes, training and development subject, what we have studied now, training and development and skill development in our country, who is working, what programs they have done. Now you need to come up with your own new methods. If you're working in an organization, how to provide training, how to do the need assessment, you need to be, now I'm sure that you can do all these things. So inshallah, next class we will discuss regarding training and development in well-known companies, what they are doing, how much they support their staff, how much they value their staff, employees, and what they are providing for them. So we will discuss that as well, inshallah.